Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Oh, my goodness. Looking a little wild today over here. It's so nice to see everybody. I'm so glad to see everyone. I feel like I'm taking up time, but you can always catch me on the replay if you're busy. And I know people are busy with their lives, getting ready. Maybe some of you are just seeing family, getting ready to celebrate St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. I know here in the US, it's a very popular holiday. And so happy St. Patrick's Day for tomorrow. Here in Virginia Beach, we had a big Shamrock Half Marathon weekend. And so I hope all the runners did very well. Obviously, while they were racing, I was sleeping. I don't race like I used to. I used to run that race, but not anymore. If you're not aware of who I am, my name is Ray, otherwise known as Life and Vibe. I know many of you already know who I am, but if you happen to find my channel, not that YouTube promotes me too much, but if you do happen to find my channel, I am a registered nurse. I do practice here in the United States. I am trained to be a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. I have probably, it's well over a decade of experience, and I do use my experience to try to find people on the internet, especially one who use health matters in order to either give misinformation to an audience, or in the case of our good friend Soda Tim, what I might believe to be at this time some exaggeration around his current medical condition. If you had a 1576 coronary artery calcium score, you would be on the critical list. You would not be wandering off having a salty Chinese meal and having a golf weekend and going off and, doing around and rolling around. My theory, and I want to make sure I say everyone hi first, and then we'll get into what my theory is, because you have to take a look at what the dates are at the moment. It's the 16th of March, and January is traditionally a lighter month of YouTube monetary gain. So we only get paid if you have a monetized YouTube channel every month. And the pay date here in the United States is the 21st of March, depending on when the weekend falls, obviously. But the 21st of March, and YouTube's very good about that. If you have direct deposit into a bank account, you'll be seeing that money, by the afternoon in your account on the 21st. And so we're looking at the date now. We're on the 16th of March. So we are about 5 days away from payday. And you have to think that it's potentially that Tim is running a little bit lower on his funds. This could be the reason why we see him selling the Hoka shoes on Facebook. This could be why he is highlighting his buy me a coffees for very small amounts of buy me a coffees. And I do want to thank, and I'll remind me, but I want to make sure I thank everybody who's been so generous, and we'll get back to all the stuff that's happening with my following up with, Tim. And I know that there's other creators who would be like, potentially not thinking that this should be something that I should pursue. But I think that some of the things and the actions and the behaviors, the flooding of emails, just the all-round childishness and assumption that Tim and JJ and all of Tim's cohorts are able to run around YouTube and just threaten other creators who make any commentary. And Tim, I can promise you, I don't think he's got the cardiac disease that he's trying to say he has. I think he's having an excuse in order to not have his because he doesn't have the finances to pay for the meat and the eggs, because eggs are very expensive here in the US at the moment. And I'm sure that steaks are too. These are two items I do not buy in the store, but I almost feel as though Tim does not have the finances to maintain his carnivore diet. And so it's cheaper for him to eat Mediterranean at this time and garner some sympathy from his audience, because Tim is not taking a single solitary medication other than that low dose cholesterol medication. That's the only one, the statin. It's the only medication, and that's not. And we'll look at the actual guidelines from a lot of different associations, like the American Heart Association, the American College of Cardiology, the American College of Cardio practice. It's a huge group, okay? And they all work together and produce a guideline. And this guideline is the guideline that we follow in order to treat patients with coronary artery disease. And what Tim is implying with that 15, 76, 75, whatever he said, coronary artery calcium score, is that he is a severely diseased at this point. And he should be, but he has none of the medications. There's no way that any doctor would allow somebody that ill not to be on anticoagulation medications, antiplatelet medications. We're going to take a look at this, and you can see what your practitioners follow when they are actually prescribing to you, and looking at your history. And what we use as our guidelines when we actually make decisions around how to treat patients with this particular disorder. So yes, we're going to look at that, because I think that Tim is saying a lot of things that are not true. Hey, Cat Lady Life, come on in. It's Miss Sharon. Come on in, Sharon. Greetings. Hey, Cody, come on in. Come on in. I'm going to say hi. Stacy, come on in. Come on in. Let the game begin. Yes, thank you, Cody, to remind people to hit the like button. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Fishbowl says Timmy must be out to have, yes. I don't know. I can't talk to that one, because I thankfully never have to physically assess Sarasota Tim. But if you do like this community, we do have community memberships. $2.99 a month actually goes to support my actual real work that I do as a YouTube content creator in calling out people with scams, because I don't just make content around them when they start to become narcissistic bullies and try to intimidate smaller creators. I think it's time that we don't just let them fold us out and go away and let them continue to run rampant. I think then you need to take the time to stand up for yourself. And people assume this is stressful for me. It's not stressful, because I'm obtaining professional counsel. And so I'm taking my stress away, because I'm going to let them handle it. So anything that they try to do for, even moving forward to try to harm my channel is all evidence that I will be able to garner to show that it's literally it's a striking against me, and other creators specifically, and they have no legal reason to be doing so. It's just to be malicious. So anyway, I'll let the attorney handle that. But everyone always thinks it's stressful, or YouTube's just fun and games. But there's other types of content on YouTube also. It's very serious news and stuff. It's not just silliness. So I think that, and I think Tim, if he was really feeling that silly, he wouldn't be so upset when people make criticism. But he's hiding a scam, and that's why he doesn't like it. And it's his ego too. Anyway, if you also want to support me, and there's been a lot of generous contributions, so I'll try to wrap this up real quick, because I don't want to talk forever on this part, because people want to see the reactions. I obviously, it says my MP grad school fundraiser, but really at the moment it's helping to take proper actions against Mr. Sarasota Tim. Hey, Gail, come on in. Come on in. We got Abriana. We got Lori. We got Norm. Hey, Norm. Come on in. Gen X is here. Come on in. Come on in. Barbie Doll is here. Dr. Falcon. Let me just make sure I'm saying hi to everyone. Lovescape is here. We got Passive 101. Oh, Johnny Boy is here. Watch your language, Johnny Boy. This is an afternoon show. Vicky Lynn says, I feel like the doctors would have called him for a stat catheterization with that calcium number. Probably, yes. We'll take a look. We've got a whole guideline that we can look at. Passing 101 says if Tim wore a pink sparkly dress and sprinkled glitter around his camper while filming himself drinking, he would get a lot more views. Potentially. It may be more entertaining. Hey, Chuck, come on in. It may be more entertaining than what we're seeing currently. It may potentially be more entertaining. So we could do this two ways. We could start, because I'm not going to take a long time tonight. I just, as I said, make sure you just hit the likes as you come in. All the money that I'm raising this month, and it's been great, is enabling me to actually get Tim to answer to why he is acting the way he is to other smaller content creators. We know why. But I find it fascinating that JJ released the copyright strike on Zachary Michael, but they have not released the one towards me. And it's always content that is filmed at JJ's home. So this is why this one's going to be interesting, because we're actually going to look at the morning chat that Tim has in JJ's house. And so it'd be fascinating to see if Tim is actually has been following my hate channel and has seen that I'm, have retained legal counsel at this point. And because I've sent the engagement letter, it's just I'm waiting for the office to open to put the retainer down. And I also am looking at other avenues where Tim will need to retain legal representation, especially on hindsight of the posts that Chris Google Maps made about taking me out and stuff, which is actually quite an open threat. And so it'd be interesting that have the attorneys, get them under deposition to talk about the things that they have done in order to try to be aggressively intimidating and threatening towards me within civil cases. And so I'm curious. I am curious at this point because I kind of didn't remember that screenshot that was left by Mr. Chris Google Maps. Sorry, I had a moment there to think. I wanted to show what Chris Google Maps said. So let me get over there real quick. I was going to show this. Show this. And so this is kind of an interesting thing. So let's do this. All right, let's share the screen here. Okay. Okay. Yep, here we go. All right, let me see how I look. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so this is what Chris Google Maps left on my... I don't remember which video it was because I obviously had removed it. But obviously, I don't know if we can request YouTube to give us information around who is Chris Google Maps. But he obviously made a statement that he said that it was stupid for me to put out fair use statements and that I can talk crap all I want about the guy. But if you use his content, you're fair game to be taken out. Also, good luck reacting to videos that won't exist if you try to watch them later. I don't know whose videos he's referring to because Tim is never taking down a video. If he's making money, that thing's not going down. So I don't know what they were saying. You people are massive jokes. What a sad way to spend the holiday hating. Now, people do suspect that might be a Tim sock account, and I do not believe it is. I do believe that Chris Google's Maps is an actual genuine person. So yeah, that was a nice thing to say to somebody. So yeah, all right, let me not show that because that doesn't show anything. All right, so we show that instead. Sorry. But yeah, that was left to me. That was what he wanted to say. So that was potentially very pleasant. Larry says, Tim the Taker Baker is presenting much less arrogant since his health scare. I think he is seeing a bump in the sympathy buy me a coffee angle. Well, I don't think he actually has his health scare. I don't think he has it to the extent that he's claiming. So let's get over here to this document. This is from the American Heart Association, the ACC, the ACCP, the ASPC, the NLA, the PCNA guideline for management of patients with chronic coronary artery disease. Now, this is chronic coronary artery, which if Tim had it for as long as that calcium shows, as long as that calcium score is showing, it is chronic at this point, and it would be chronic going forward for him. Okay. So this is a huge guideline. It will tell you everything about tobacco products, the types of tests, and so forth. So what I was most fascinated at looking at going forward and then listening to Tim's discussion is that they do mention, blood pressure management, of course, and you're all welcome to find this online. I will leave the link to this in the description box. Weight management, which we know Tim definitely needs to get some of that under control. He definitely needs to take a look at that abdominal he has going on. So they did say something about the types of diets that they recommend in here and the types of medications, physical activity, which we know Tim lies about going to the gym. So if anybody thinks that we're not instructed to give tips around lifestyles and so forth, we are. But obviously, exercise is contraindicated in patients with severe life-threatening and unstable conditions. Contraindications include unstable angina, other high-risk cardiovascular conditions, which could include high-grade arrhythmias, well, that would be like getting into the really ventricular rhythms, decompensated heart failure, active thrombolytic disease, or other unstable or life-threatening non-cardiovascular conditions. But Tim supposedly has this extremely high calcium score. So you would think it would put him probably into the potentially contraindicated group with that particular. That's why I just find it so wild, because here we are, medical therapy. So this is where I found interesting, because what Tim had the other day on his counter. Oh, make sure when you guys come in, just make sure to hit the likes, just to help get the stream out, get more people to see it, and then YouTube will, help me be able to actually do some good with their money instead of whatever Tim's done with YouTube's money. Let's do some good with that AdSense. So anyway, sorry, I'm gonna take a little sip. So hey, just me. Come on in. You so happy? You just saw me streaming? Well, come on in. Gen X says, there's a good theory. It's a twofer. He needs JJ's emotional support and guidance regarding Ray's action. He also needs to avoid New York Dam. Potentially. I would be surprised if he's not aware that I'm not doing anything, because I've certainly made it known. He just hasn't received what he's got coming yet. I don't want to reveal too much, obviously, because I need to make sure what I say the attorneys are okay with. I don't think they have any problem with me saying that. Obviously, I'm going ahead with having, secured counsel. I haven't said who the firm is or what they're going to say or what actions, because that's all up to them. And I don't want to reveal too much of anything. I just want people to know it's not. And like I said, people cannot bully people the way that this man has bullied other smaller content creators, especially when his content is such garbage and he speaks such misinformation regarding social security, regarding health. And I do believe that at the moment, he doesn't have the coronary artery disease that he claims to have. He doesn't have any of the medication profile that you would expect. He doesn't seem to have the rush to get things corrected. He is literally out eating salty Chinese food. He is playing golf. He is drinking full caffeinated coffee. He is, doing so many, drinking half and half, saying, oh, is that going to kill me? I mean, it's really, really exaggerating to just eating a bowl of oatmeal and blueberries is going to correct all of these heart conditions that he has. And, oh, I already feel my heart so much better. It's so dramatic. It calls to me just absolutely, he is using his audience to garner sympathy. It's halfway through the month. He needs to make more money. He needs to get more money to his buy me a coffee. His buy me a coffee is down. He's complained about supposedly these CT scans. We never see him anywhere near an imaging center, which is very strange. And he doesn't take any medication except for this very low dose statin, which maybe some cholesterol, but does not scream the coronary artery disease that he says. And having worked for as many years in cardiac nursing as I have, I can promise you, I recognize what I should see as the man is not even on an aspirin. And he would be such a high stroke risk at this point. Why wouldn't he be on like 2 or 3 different like blood thinners and anticoagulants and antiplatelets? They would be petrified. This is why I just believe this is absolute. Hey, Lori, it's a scam. It's an absolute scam. It's a grift. The health scare is an absolute grift. It's a grift. Absolutely. He's a liar. He's doing it for he's doing it for views and money, Lovescapes. You see, he does not have he told on himself in the camper van when he showed this is everything that he's taking. He had a CoQ10, which he bought on recommendation and suggestion of somebody in his chat. Probably sent him some buy me a coffee for it. And then he had it was a CVS container. I recognize that bottle. It does have that kind of colored code on the side, but I believe that was his probably Lipitor. That's it. Not even a baby aspirin. That is, it's. I mean, you will see here on this. You need to take a lot more stuff. Yep, straight to the hospital. Absolutely, Gen X. Yeah, he's reached an absolutely new low in dry begging. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. It's absolutely. I don't know. Not to say that he doesn't have risk factors for having these things, but I don't think it's at the extent that he's proclaiming, because he's not. It's just, he talked about even going out west to golf. The what? Doctor would have him in. Here we go. This is what would happen. Patients with chronic coronary disease. Okay, this would be Tim. Okay, with that level of needing to be rotor-rooted and everything else, you would think he would be on an oral anticoagulant. You start them with a low-dose aspirin, 81 milligram. Anyone ever heard Tim talk about a low-dose aspirin? I've never heard him talk about that. To reduce atherosclerotic events. Atherosclerotic meaning that damn calcium, pardon my French, that is built up in his coronary arteries, supposedly, to prevent that. He's not even on the first line of treatment. Not even on the first line. Oh, yeah, exactly, just me. Absolutely. And that's why I do what I do, because it's absolute garbage, like the heart transplant for Johnny Vegas. What a bunch of these guys are just, and I don't trust JJ, how he made his money in the past. Does anybody know? All I know is about that Maltese.com website. Okay. And patients with this treated with a PCI, that means a percutaneous intervention. That basically means had Tim been stented, which you would think he would be straight over to the cath lab Monday morning. Because with that type of score, they would want that. That's nothing you would, probably hospitalize them. He's never mentioned that he's on any nitroglycerin tablets. He's ever had angina, chest pain, anything. He just sounds short of breath, which you can have when you don't have good heart conditions. It's not always related to the lungs. Okay. So they're going to come in with known as dual antiplatelet therapies. That's going to be a dose of aspirin. That's your 81 milligram. And then usually clopidogrel, or what's known as Plavix. Okay. That's 6 months. Okay. That's what they're going to do. This is what they're going to start to do. Now, if you've had if you've had a heart attack, they're going to do this. If you've had a heart attack and histories of strokes, they're going to do this. So they have all these different things they're going to start treating him with. And it doesn't seem as if they've done anything in Tim as far as starting him on any type of antiplatelet, any type of anything of that nature. So that's what kind of starts to bring me into question. Also, with Tim having such a high um, uh, calcium coronary score, you would assume that he would be on a drug called azimuthine. This one right here. Okay. And this is also known as Zetia. And often this is part of one of the therapies that they would start to put him along with his other statin, and it would be much higher up. And this is the top 10 take-home messages for chronic coronary disease. Okay, so this is what they recommend. And they do talk about the diet. They talk about the Mediterranean diet. They talk about the DASH diet, which you may have heard of. What has Johnny said? Sorry if I'm not keeping up with the chat. I don't have a mod. Sharon, I might make you mod at some point. Some people, if anybody wants to be a moderator, let me know, because they can keep up with the chat, because fortunately I'm not keeping up with the chat. Just make sure you hit the likes on the way in. Help support me and my calling out of this awful narcissist. Is potentially exaggerating. And I think, like I said, I think he's showing off that he's eating blueberries and oatmeal in the morning, because Tim don't have the money for eggs, bacon, and steak. I think Tim is at the end of the month and Tim broke. And so, because why would he just, and it's just something is just saying to me, you're not taking the medications that would be taken along with this disease. And it's not about waiting to see your cardiologist. Your primary care doctor would have prescribed these immediately on that score. Why weren't you put on an anticoagulant regimen? Why aren't you better equipped with a better statin along with azimuthine, which is like the standard now, because you have obviously high stubborn cholesterol. It's the only way to really knock that thing down quickly. You're on none of these protocols, Tim. And so that makes me think that you're, in my opinion, a liar, sir. I don't know if you got these CT scans. I don't know. Oh, here's my mod. She came on in. Hey, I know you've got to go to work. I know. You're at work, girl. I know it. Sherry says, I hope he doesn't want to get back into traditional Medicare. They may not allow him due to the pre-existing conditions. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yes, JJ was something involved with like a puppy mill type thing with Maltesers, I find. I thought I heard. I know he had something that he was breeding Maltesers, at least. And he said JJ was talking against Maltese breeders, but he himself was breeding them. And we've shown the evidence of that. I've done that too. That's why if you want to support my channel and the work that I do, calling out people who are using the internet to manipulate people, especially older folks like Tim does, who may not have the ability to spot a scammer the way I do. Okay, so these are some of the things. Obviously, emphasis on team-based patient care. This is what we would want to, as professionals, ensure. Non-pharmacological therapies, including healthy dietary habits and exercise. That doesn't include half and half and Chinese food, Tim, when you've been immediately supposedly given such terrible news and full-on caffeinated coffee. None of that makes sense. None of it. They who are free from contraindications are encouraged to participate in habitual physical activity, including activities to reduce sitting time, to increase aerobic and resistant exercise. We don't think that Tim really working out in the gym. Tim, people just think you use Planet Fitness to poop and shower. Cardiac rehabilitation for eligible patients provides significant cardiovascular benefits and decreased morbidity and mortality outcomes. Cardiac rehabilitation, that's what I was an RN for about 2 years, pretty much running one area of cardiac. Well, for a particular location of a heart of a larger healthcare system. So I had a manager who over me, but she wasn't really doing the day-to-day sort of running of the rehab as much as I was, obviously, and seeing the patients and doing the plan of cares and so forth. Anyway, so that's how I get also my experience. So we do that. They might use a sodium glucose transport 2 inhibitors and glucogen-like peptide. These are some other types of medications we may use in order to, we might use certain ones, even if the patient doesn't have diabetes, just to help them out. We're going to be using some beta blockers. And I've never heard Tim ever mention he's using a beta blocker at all. No beta blockers, not for that terribly high. That's what I have to keep reminding you. We're reminding people is that his score was so high, he should be like hospitalized at this point. I mean, it was outrageously high. I mean, beyond excessive. I mean, this is literally what we're supposed to be doing. This is what we follow. Okay. And then we can either do, and a beta blocker is not recommended. So we don't want to do the, that's right. We don't do the beta blockers. That would be things like metoprolol, unless you've had a heart attack. So there's all these different things that we have to, like, this patient had a heart attack. So you have to do all these like algorithmic trees. If they had, what's their ejection fraction? So less than 50%. And then, have you been on other drugs? So there's certain things that you would look like. Okay, then obviously we do statins, which Tim has spoken about the statin. That's the only one pill bottle I see. Real pills that were, from a pharmacist. I'm not saying that CoQ10, well, anyway. Okay, so you could do a Zimatype. There's all these other things that you may take along with that. You might end up on an antiplatelet, as well. The use of non-prescription dietary supplements, fish oil, omega-3, is not recommended unless given the benefits. So they don't recommend this for patients. Okay? And that means they probably don't recommend that CoQ10 that Tim is on. There's no benefits that show for this. So Tim's trying to show off that he's got that CoQ10. He's bought the CoQ10 that somebody has recommended in his chat, remember? But it wasn't actually prescribed by his physician, because the recommendations from 2023 say not to actually prescribe any of that stuff. There's very little evidence that it works. Most of the time, those fish oil tablets are going to be rancid and not good. You're better off, guess what? Eating the piece of fish. To be honest, that's going to be much more beneficial in getting you these than these, because you can't guarantee the real quality of these. So we don't recommend them often. Okay, so then you're going to have to get, obviously, periodic and anatomic and ischemic testing. So basically getting cath scans and other types of echoes and other type of CT scans and so forth. Okay, and then they talk about some of these other things. So that's part of it. They also talk about the type of diets that you should have. And I won't go too much more because I know everybody wants to look at Tim. But let me at least bring you to the last part, which is the dietary part. Let me put in dash. And then you could see kind of the dietary recommendations real quick. And then we'll get over to our friend Tim. Oh, why does it always do that? Did it do it on my side? See, look, it just went all big like that. That's wild. Okay. Let me get over to Tim and share that tab, and I'll redo my tab. I don't know what I do. Oh, my goodness. I'm such a professional. It's all big over on this page. Let me see if I can get it to proper size. Or is it just going to be huge? I don't know why it got all big. Oh, my goodness. Hold on, guys. My thing got really big over here. That's weird. Okay. Anyway, that's very strange. Let me make Tim a little bit bigger. That's strange. I don't know what it decided to resize itself. That's very odd. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get in here and try to get in without getting it. Oh, now we have even a 2025. No, that's acute coronary syndrome. Sorry. All right, let me get back in. Okay, there we go. Here we go. We're back in. Okay. All right. So let me get over. I don't know if it was when I did the control find. All right, let me do that. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. All right. I wanted to show the part about the diet because that's something that I do support. Hey, Luke, come on in. And then we'll carry on. But this does say a Mediterranean type dietary plan with a higher intake of healthy plant-based foods and lean proteins. This is the stuff. When you hear me always saying it, it's probably because I've read these guidelines multiple times because of my work. Obviously, we want to lower quantities of saturated fat, obviously red meat, reduce cardiovascular risk factors, insulin resistance, all of these different things. So there's all the different studies that they mention as to why we believe this to be beneficial to patients, because we have all these different studies that have shown how this benefits patients. That's why we recommend it. And then we talk about implementing healthy plant-based and Mediterranean-based diets. Again, I always say this is kind of how I eat. And I get a lot of people questioning me about it. Reason being is because obviously I've read a lot of studies. And so this is what I recommend. And you yourselves can go in and take a look at this. This is what we have looked at through evidence-based practice. It's not just because we think this sounds good. It's because they talk about actual randomized controlled trials. And these are standards for evidence in order to show, yeah, this really does help people. This really does work. It's not just because we have a, one thing or, we've got, hooked on. This is, generally based on science. Obviously, the reduction of dietary sodium is important because there is salt in your interstitial fluid in your made of your cells. Your cells are made of a certain percentage of salt. That's why they talk about normal saline. Normal saline is the composition of your body cells. Saline salt. It's why we use it on the floors. And obviously salt, water follows salt, and that's why people who have heart conditions and maybe aren't having their heart pump effectively and aren't, and having too much salt would have issues. And yet Tim out here eating Chinese because that's what JJ and them wanted to eat. And there's what's known as the DASH diet. That's the dietary approaches to stop hypertension. It's all this stuff. Simple carbohydrate reduction or consumption of simple carbohydrates, and have shown. Obviously, you do want to be careful with oatmeal sometimes because obviously it can, as it lowers cholesterol, it could potentially also spike blood sugar. So you just, you always want to kind of, be, moderate with everything. Obviously, trans fat, blah, blah, blah. It goes on. But I don't want to blah, blah, blah them. But I just wanted to kind of show that this is what they say. Okay. And so we do see that Tim obviously eating the oatmeal and the blueberries and saying he's on a Mediterranean diet, but he's going to eat Chinese food. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The things that he is doing do not make sense. Lowering saturated fats. He said, I don't think and we're going to go over to Tim now. Let's get over to Tim. But he did mention that he didn't think the creamer was going to kill him. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's make sure we speed him up because he's slow and we want to get out of here. Luckily, it's a very short video, so we'll be very quick on this. But I just wanted to make sure that I prefaced everything. Catherine says that they used saline to rehydrate her when she had a mystery acidosis. Interesting. I'm hoping you're feeling better from that. And yes, a lot of times things can come on and we're not sure what the etiology, what was the disease process, where it came from. Timmy, the Riverside Casino is calling. They miss your play. Well, I mean, considering Tim was supposed to be so sick, he he shouldn't be playing golf. I mean, that could potentially bring on corner event, being out there in the heat and walking all around. Just me says he's so unaware of the food he puts in his mouth. Yes, and I think, like I said, I think part of why he's not putting out a bunch of meat is that it's expensive. It's not cheap here in the U.S. at the moment. Let's go take maybe a quick look at Walmart. Let's see how much some eggs are. Maybe it's different in different locations, but let's just go into the Walmart site real fast. Why not? Let's look at eggs. Let's see how much Tim doesn't want to. You don't have eggs? Technical issues? Oh, well, Walmart, that's not fun. Okay, let's go back to Tim then. I don't know why. Walmart having technical issues about eggs. Can I not find eggs? They're just having technical issues. Can I try again? All right. I'm just trying to see how much it does. Oh, here we go. Let me show you. Okay, they came back. Okay, let me show this tab instead. Okay, so it seems that this might be. So here we have. This is for 12, $5.97. For 18, it's $8.82. Over here, it's almost like $30. So Tim probably not wanting to spend money on eggs. This is my theory, is Tim is being a cheap ass. It's not anything to do with heart health. Just doesn't want to spend the money. Here, because he said he's going to have a steak on occasion. I have no idea, because I don't eat eggs or steaks. Uh-oh. They don't like what... Here we go, steak. All right. So I don't think he's wanting to pay $12.94 a pound, or $16 a pound, or $27 for some ribeye. I know he does cowboy steaks. I don't think that exists like that, but that's like $20, $30 when you can get, a little punnet of blueberries and some oatmeal for under 10. And then he always likes the bacon, doesn't he? I'm sure that's costly too now. I'm obviously just giving it a quick, here we go, bacon. See, I don't shop, as you can tell, any of these foods. I'm just saying, this is why I think he's just being cheap. And he says it's $5.97. That's over $6. They're $1 each in New Zealand. Lord of my life. This is a very interesting idea that he's only eating because he cannot afford steaks, bacon, eggs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's at the end of the month, Gen X. He gets paid again on the 21st. And he complained of some. It just seems ironic that he's, buying Chinese, but he's, not following any of those guidelines. And he's not on any of the medications, not on any aspirin. Okay, that's the big thing that told me that this is BS. Okay, that's the first thing that made me go, Tim's lying. Okay, I can tell you, I'm 50 credit hours into grad school, and I initially started out. I've still had to take, my general medicine classes for prescribing. And obviously, one of the ones we really look at is heart disease and cardiac medicine. And so I'm very familiar with these guidelines. And so I could tell immediately with how Tim is and the that it's just all lies. It's lies. And it says bacon. How much is that at the Walmart? Because he loves Walmart. That's why we're checking the Walmart. So a little less expensive, but it's still, coming up. Just if you wanted some hickory, I don't know what his brands are. He probably does great value, but it's still, as much as, and he likes 3 or 4 slices. This isn't going to last long. It's an expensive breakfast. So I don't know if he's saving money, and then also he's doing it for audience sympathy, because he's got to show, because this is what scammers have to do. They have to show that they are obviously, living the scam, so he has to act as if he is being a heart patient. So he got to get out here with the oatmeal. But because his views are down, his money is down, he needs something to get sympathy and to hook his elderly audience in. And everybody, as they get older, gets heart disease. There's nothing more that people could relate to more than that. It's not to say that Tim is not getting the start of having heart problems. Don't get me wrong. It's not a blood pressure medication. It's not an aspirin. How can you have supposedly the need to be roto-rooted so desperately as he does and not take one thing to help you prevent a stroke? Doesn't make sense. His doctor would be considered to be negligent at this point, his provider, for the care, that they are giving Tim a greater risk of having a really bad event. That's why I actually think that Tim's not telling the truth. Really, Junebug? Junebug's opening doors over here. Jeez. Sorry, guys. Junebug's opening up the doors. She's sick of Tim. The traditional English breakfast is deadly. Absolutely. I mean, it's okay every once in a blue moon, but you do not want to be eating fried bread and all that stuff. So anyway, I just think that he's running low on money. He needs some drama. He needs sympathy. He needs views. What more than, drumming up some excitement about these CT scores and with no evidence that we ever saw that this really happened. Except Tim eating oatmeal.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Kim. Coming to you from inside the OPH bedroom here. I'm up and at 'em. Already been out there with JJ. Bev's still sleeping. Shh, keep it down. And I just got my new shirt back on that she washed for me, and I'm all dressed up. Let's go out here and make a little bit of oatmeal and have some coffee and get ready to enjoy the day here.
No, he's not in denial, Sharon. He doesn't have anything like that bad because he would be on a very different medication profile. There's no way that Tim has what he has and he only taken 20 milligrams of something, Lipitor. Doesn't seem like, it seems like that's only a treatment for somebody with high cholesterol. It's not a treatment for coronary artery disease, which is what he's claiming pretty much because he's going to get roto-rooted. And no doctor or nurse practitioner, whoever he supposedly sees, is going to allow him to be not taking at least an 81 milligram of baby aspirin. That would have been started a long time ago. And that anybody can prescribe that. Don't need to be the cardiologist. Okay? That's why this man is talking bullshit. I'm just telling you, this is bullshit. It's full bullshit.
Outside the villages where we're going to take all of our big-time firearms right there on the ground. I got them all with me.
He's a liar.
And blast some lead downrange. We're going to go to this outdoor shooting range in Ocala. I think we are.
Yeah.
We'll see. But one way or another, we're shooting today. We're not going to be laying around. We talked enough yesterday. So let's go out here and make some coffee. All right, everybody, we're in here cooking in the kitchen. Keep it down. Look at this brand new one.
How excited he is. I mean, I know Tim gets a little bit manic and stuff. This is not people who get this type of coronary disease. I can promise you, they have a lot of depression along with it. This is life-changing stuff. You're not laughing about Quaker Oats. Tim isn't that good of an actor. I mean, he really isn't. This is BSery. Maybe he's taking maybe something to help with his cholesterol, but I don't think remember, he lied about Johnny Vegas getting a heart transplant. That man did not get a heart transplant. We never saw Johnny Vegas on an LVAD. He was not on any bridge to a transplant. That stuff takes a long time. A long time. These guys are rampant liars and con artists.
Oatmeal. My water is just about boiling. I brought
We're going to find out more about what his cons are. I promise you.
Whatever. I just need to get a bowl now to put my oatmeal in. See if I can find them. I opened up all these cabinets and I never find them. Here we go. Look at this. Look at all this stuff. Look at the color. Man, this is cool.
No doctor ever told him to cut out the caffeine because Tim probably hasn't gone to the doctor like that. Maybe he just makes up copays in order to get buy me a coffee donations without really going anywhere. Because he has a history of not really wanting to seek medical care. So why would it be any different now? I'm telling you, he doesn't take the medications for somebody who has the disease processes that he's saying. Therefore, I know he's a bald-faced liar. He is a bald-faced liar.
Using the high-dollar stove, the stippling on these cabinets. I forget they're self-closing. I want to close them myself, but look. You don't have to. They're designed not to wake anybody up. All right, there's the water. It's boiling. I got a half a cup of oats here, ready to go.
Oh.
Put that in. Then we just, I think, turn it off and let it do its thing. The old spoon here. Mix it around. So while that's...
No, Tim needs to be not near anybody passive 101. He's a manipulative narcissist with grandiosity, and he uses people. I don't know with JJ and Bev who's the scammer here, Tim or JJ. You know, I don't know who's doing who over here as far as, you know, manipulating one another. There's got to be something in it for both of them, because from what I could read about what people describe JJ's personality and him having a God complex and so forth, it seems that there's something that JJ gains by having Tim around him too. So I find it interesting. And like I said, I've studied human behavior and I've worked with many cardiac patients. Tim is using his audience. He's lying. He's absolutely lying. Something's fishy about whatever he's saying, exaggerating it for sure. But he doesn't take the medication. He doesn't have any of those. They would have told him not to take the CoQ10, and they'd have him on a baby aspirin.
Soaking and getting ready. This is the main event. Take a look at this. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. It's 20 minutes till, but I'm going to go ahead and cheat and drink some 8 o'clock coffee. All right, come on down here and take a look. Let's see how his pot does without lifting the lid. Oh, yeah.
No, I've never shot that Tim is so comfortable with everybody else's kitchen. Ensure that you hit the likes coming in, everybody. It's a great way to support my channel. Subscribing gives you a chance to participate in the chat. And again, it helps me raise funds in order to do more investigative work, if you may, and learn a lot about copyright soon, because I'm going to become an expert, because I've sought counsel. He's doxing JJ's place again. Well, he is, and we're going to find out because I'm showing JJ's house again, if they decide to strike me again. You know, we'll find out. That would be interesting, because it will give more another one to respond to. That's all it is. I'm not as concerned as I used to be. I would be more concerned because they're misusing YouTube's platform in terms of service, and Tim has asked his subscribers to come after channels, and that's against terms of service. And now we get to hopefully let YouTube know about all this. Well, we are going to let YouTube know. Just hopefully YouTube listens. Okay. Keep getting this full caffeinated coffee going, Tim. That would not be recommended.
Yeah. Now, what did I do wrong? I forgot to put the cream in first. Plus, there needs to be some more coffee made for Miss Bev. When she gets up, or she'll have my head.
Now, doesn't half and half have saturated fats in it? From what I read, you're not supposed to have that, Tim. That's why I just think Tim has not been, obviously, I guess, scared enough. Like I said, he gave himself away when he flashed down that countertop. Anybody on this chat who's had any type of heart condition should know that you're on a lot more medications than the one that Tim is on. That's why I know he's a liar.
Drink it all. I'll pour a little bit more in here to mix it up.
He's a liar.
I have coffee and oatmeal this morning.
Use fat-free half and half. I don't think that's what Tim has, though. They've got the great value, but I don't think that was the non-fat Dr. Classy Badassy. I'm saying that Tim is not on any medications for anybody with this severe coronary artery disease, as he is claiming. And that I believe also that he is using the Mediterranean diet, partly one, to garner sympathy, and to obviously perpetuate the lie and perpetuate the con, perpetuate the scam, do all of those things. And because he's potentially running low on funds at the end of the month and is needing, his YouTube money to pay for steaks and bacons, because those types of groceries have gotten expensive. And the way Tim was eating it, he was really spending a lot of money on it. So I think there's just a number of reasons. He would be out of breath if his cholesterol was that high. If his calcium coronary artery score was as high as he said, he would definitely be out of breath just getting up and doing something. It would be very hard. He would be exhausted. He wouldn't even gotten up to the top of it. I mean, he's short of breath. So, I mean, I'll say that doesn't have stuff going on. It's just not to the severity to that level that he says. Dr. Classy Badass, he says, I agree with you, Ray. His story is not adding up with the numbers he shared with his viewers. No, all the medications that he's supposedly taking or any of none of it adds up. None of it adds up. And I think we try, and people use medical things because they, especially in a con and a scam to get money. That's like a favorite because it's bad taste to question people about their medical. How dare you? I mean, I get told so many times that I lacked compassion for Tim in this situation. You know, how could I as a nurse and so forth? Because I have seen real patients who are going through a lot, and then I see Tim. And I see Tim is a con artist and a scammer running around dancing in the villages and God knows what other shit. Pardon my French.
In your white 8 o'clock coffee. Even if you drink it before 8. Well, let's give it a try. Is that half and half going to kill me? I had cowboy coffee yesterday.
See, is that half and half going to kill me? Well, if you supposedly had the score that you did, yeah, potentially. Yeah, Tim, supposedly, but no, not, you know, but you're just, it's going to kill your channel because you're a liar.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I just can't. Slurpable. That is good, folks. I mean, with that ceramic cup, that yellow, it looks almost matches my bowl. Oh my God, that's the best cup of coffee I ever drank in my life. I got it made here, buddy. Look at my bananas. They're getting dark. I took the little thing off, so now they're ripening really fast. I had one this morning, so I'm good for the day. Let's check on our oatmeal.
That's a lot of sugar. Probably shouldn't eat half of that, Tim. This is his new thing. He's all on to the oatmeal for breakfast.
Here we go. Need too much water. Need to turn it back on. I'm used to doing the microwave action. This is not enough oats in there. It's a lot of water. Let's put some more oats in. Let me get a spoon. You don't want to look at this. Look at this flatware. Isn't this beautiful? Look how it's so organized. Put a couple of those in my pocket before I leave. We were at the Chinese place last night, and they were using those Chinese spoons.
Chinese place, because Tim don't care about sodium. Jadex says he has a couple of cheap aluminum utensils he bought individually at Walmart. He doesn't even have a set of flatware. What a loser. Maybe that's just the coffee area. Maybe it's just the coffee area. You're on 80 milligrams Lipitor, 3 blood pressure pills, Jardiance, plus a low dose of aspirin. That sounds right, Mike. And Scammer Soda Tim over here is on none of that. He's just Scammer Soda over here. Just scamming, scammy. Trying to beef up his money. Trying to get his end of the month AdSense kicked up. He's halfway through the month. He's starting to see what he's going to make. It's probably not great. His views are in the toilet.
They look like a shovel, trial or something like that, to eat the soup. Look at this. What a mess. Will I drop one? Will he blow it?
That's part of his narcissism. Passive 101 says, joking about stealing your friend's stuff out of jealousy is beyond jealous. That's pure envy. I would never let a person like this into my home. That's his narcissism. They live in the world of envy. They're always envious. Absolutely envious. Gail Mellor says, I don't understand how anyone, even his supporters, can find his annoying mannerisms and fake laugh cute or funny. Well, they just kind of sycophantly follow him now because they hate people like me. So it's much, they love to follow Tim. And they'll take the scam no matter what. None of those people, though, I promise you, none of those folks that always leave I doubt many of them are leaving him any donations. They just help give him views and are kind of, more interested in each other's comments, I think, half the time than Tim. Gen X says, Ray Flatware, I was talking about Tim's trailer in the video. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about JJ and Bev. I was like, I'd be surprised if she didn't have matching flatware. Thank you for clarifying. He also suggested they steal the restaurant spoons. Well, that's because Tim is just always... That's where Tim Minds goes. That's Tim, because Tim is never... It's Tim mindset. It's how many of you would walk into a restaurant and think, what it's a mindset.
That's just probably all I need.
It's an entitlement too.
And I said, put one of them spoons in your purse. Just kidding, of course.
No, you're not, Tim. And that's an entitlement issue. You're not kidding. Because, everything that you say in jest, everybody knows, has a little hint of truth into it, Tim. So just be careful. It's a total dirtbag mindset. Absolutely. Don't forget, if you do like this type of content, I am, because we're doing pretty good with this month, probably going to try to get some more emojis in here. So if people want to drop in some stethoscopes at the moment, because we're talking about heart health matters, and even the computer with the little heart symbol in it to show that we're doing investigative work. And we can eat. I think there's an unhappy pancreas and all sorts of stuff. So members, make sure you drop some of the emojis in the chat here. Just show them off. There are more to be uploaded. I think there's one with me carrying a bouquet of flowers. That's usually what I send to these people when they're sad fishing for medical illnesses. True Ginger says, I cannot imagine a friend of my house asking me to do his laundry. I don't even do my husband's laundry. Oh, yeah. And I think he's talking about that now, isn't he? Let's hear it.
I have the worst. I think I have 2 spoons, 2 forks, and they're junk. You can't even bend these. This is silver. This is steel. There you go. It's boiling up. Don't give up on me. I'll get it. All right, we can go ahead and turn that off. I'm sure that water's hot enough now to soak up into the oats. And we got our blueberries here. Let's get back to drinking some coffee and talking about what's going to be happening. So it's not even daylight out there yet. Really.
Can you imagine? It's like Sunday morning and you got this dude out. Thank you, Cody. Appreciate that. Thank you, Sharon. We got some. Thank you, Hazel. What is going on with Tim and his behaviors here in this home, being so loud in an early morning? I'd be so irritated to have somebody doing that. Gosh, they really, that's why I'm just like, what do they gain from being, God, cheap Chinese meal? Keep going, Tim.
Coffee. The machine, the bar here. Let me go over here and stand in front of the bar. I love being around this thing. Look at that. I'm right at home here, man. Coffee grinder, coffee.
Jeez. Well, maybe you should have worked harder through your life, Tim. Maybe you should have had. He does. He marvels at normal things people have in their kitchen. Yeah, he cannot believe that they've got like the coffee, and it's like for somebody who absolutely hates the idea of sticks and bricks as much as Tim has in his journey through minimalism. It's astounding how he marvels at people's homes. He must not be allowed into nice places. He must not be allowed into nice places. I'm going to try to get, thank you for saying that for the emojis. We're going to try to actually get my designer to do something about the Judge Show Mathis. So I'm going to get some dry begging ones. Yeah, we's definitely on a dry beg. Gosh, they would be smart never to move them in. Just Me has a good point. JJ is a different scammer than Tim Boy. JJ was the one with the idea of the T-shirt at Kmart. Yeah, I think he does, things and, not always following, good protocols and rules. It's got to be time, film yourself 24/7. No way, Jose. Well, you know, Tim loves himself. So he probably loves seeing himself on camera. He thinks he's a superstar.
Maker, got the half and half. Cups are right here at my disposal.
At
How you
his
crush it.
disposal. Interesting. Use the words, Tim.
It really is good coffee. I'm going to enjoy that oatmeal in a minute. But first, let's talk about shooting guns today.
Oh, God.
I got a couple. He's got a couple.
Oh, gosh. Not this. How long are you going to be doing this for, Tim? I'm going to speed that along. Is that all he does at the end is do the... Okay, he's finished that.
Anyway,
I don't know anything about
as you can see,
firearms.
and then he's got another couple of Glocks himself. I don't know if we can afford to shoot all these guns. This is anywhere between 40 cents and 60 cents a squeeze. But this outside place we're going to go is...
yeah, but Tim's going to pick up things in his chat, and Tim's going to also pick up things from elderly people like Fred and Rafaela and other people and use it to his advantage. Tim studied supposedly under Tony Robbins a couple of times. So Tim is not to be trusted at all, in my opinion.
Look at it. All dried up in there. Look at that. Might have to add something else to it with those blueberries. Anyway, it's an outdoor place. We'll see.
Right.
This is good. Oh, yeah, check it out.
There it is.
Looks good.
There you go, Hazel.
Just add those blueberries. Let that get soft. Nothing worse than eating oatmeal. It's not done. It's like eating fish scales. So that's our day. And then it might be a little bit of golf, baby, golf. The one thing we're going to do, we're definitely going to have some fun.
Does that seem like somebody who's just supposedly had all these heart conditions going on? Talking like golf, baby golf, and all swinging. Just, I'm telling you guys, it's the oatmeal thing is a ploy. Just Tim did not want to spend the money on the eggs and the bacon and stuff the other day. I'm telling you.
We're definitely going to be outside today. It's supposed to be very warm. And let me get this oatmeal going on here. We'll bring you some more videos today. I promise you several of them. We're going to crush it.
I don't think so, Tim. I don't think Tim's going to crush it. Oh, my goodness. Let's see if Tim has had anything else come up of interest. And otherwise, we will let everybody go. Oh, goodness me. As he went to the shooting range. I mean, he looks red-faced. Let's share this screen instead. Oh, that's the wrong thing. He looks like he's going to have a stroke. He does do that. He does look pretty red-faced. I would suggest if he is. I mean, he does look very red-faced here. I'm not... Look at how red-faced. Oh, my gosh. His hand looks terrible there. His skin. Absolutely terrible. Here we go, watching Tim go off and have some Chinese food real quick. Let's get it. Make sure he's in the... Yep, we'll just watch this one and we'll finish it out, guys. All right, Tim, let's hear about how you're going to take out your heart with some Chinese food.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim coming to you from Koi Aim, Chinese food.
See? How come we've never had coming to you from, you know, Riverside CT Imaging Center? I believe the eye stuff because his eye looks terrible. But it just seems weird. We never saw the imaging center. Never saw the imaging center. Why are we? He doesn't think he's going to get sponsorship from all of these places. Mike says, narcissists get off on bullshitting. Absolutely. Especially a grandiose like Tim. Tim is fully in here, in the zone. And this is, you know, this is a man who supposedly had really terrible results. But he's out with his... Works a lot of patients. This is not normal. We know Tim's not normal, but I'm telling you, this is part of Tim's beer.
I'm treating JJ and Bev tonight to dinner. She made me dinner last night, and they're hosting me, so at least I could do, right? But I wanted to show you guys, this is one of the many types of styles of...
Tim's got to point that out because we've always said that Tim doesn't take anybody out for dinner or do anything nice. I guess he's got to take her out since Bev did his laundry. Because he did say in the last video that Bev obviously did his laundry. What a chump. I would never do a guest's laundry or expect my supposed to do my laundry unless I was staying for like a long time. And then I would just say, can I use your machine? And then I'd want to give them money for the electricity. I just cannot believe this man. He's out, especially with heart disease, firing weapons. That would be contraindicated because of the pressure on the heart muscle and the recoil. Why do people develop into narcissists? I believe, well, from what I can understand, and their diagnostic features, the type of development might be particularly common in adolescence, but do not necessarily indicate that the individual developed narcissistic personality disorder in adulthood. They don't seem to, it just seems to just kind of come up. Predominant narcissistic traits or manifestations of full disorder may first come to clinical attention or be exacerbated in the context of unexpected or extremely challenging, well, here we go, life experiences or crisis, such as bankruptcies, demotions, or loss of work or divorce. In addition, individuals with narcissistic personality disorder may have specific difficulties adjusting to the onset of physical and occupational limitations that are inherent in the aging process. However, life experiences such as a new durable relationships, real successful achievements, and tolerable disappointments and setbacks can all be corrective and contribute to changes and improvements in individuals with this disorder. So that's kind of what they say. This is kind of, it seems to pop on in. So it's not necessarily they just say it's the life experiences of people. So maybe there's some life experiences. We know that Tim's had quite a lot of different life experiences, and that potentially could have led him to develop more narcissistic tendency. He's also of the male gender, which also means that he has more tendency to become narcissistic. Women tend to be more histrionic, not narcissistic.
Cars are riding around here in the area of the Villages. We're at a public shopping center. This is her favorite. She actually likes Greek food. We were going to go there, but JJ kind of likes the Chinese food. So we made a compromise. We're coming to Koyam.
I don't know which one would have had more sodium, the Greek or the Chinese. Probably both. Spanakopia is not, or feta cheese has a lot of salt. So I don't know if any of these were good decisions. Probably eating at a seafood restaurant would have been the best choice. But it doesn't sound like that was on the table.
Asian Express. But I wanted to show you guys. You don't think the golf carts are important here? Take a look at this. Oh. This area right inside the plaza is golf cart parking. Have you ever been anywhere that there's actually built with the plaza an area for golf carts?
Yes. Yes, I live in a town where people have golf carts everywhere, and there's golf cart parking in Virginia Beach at certain restaurants. I
mean, they're just everywhere. You see them, look, they're going down over there. Everywhere you go here, there's golf carts. I was asking JJ, I said, what do you think the percentage is? He said, I think it's about 85-15. 85% of the people that live in the villages and just outside the villages like they do have golf carts. The other 15% either just have no use for one.
Well, at least he admitted they're outside the villages, because he always likes to say they're in the villages, and they're not. And Tim, once again, envying, this is, Tim, this is what hard work, this is where you end up arriving with hard work, is here. Takes a lot of work and dedication, though. Promise you, from somebody who has worked for many, many years, I'm still working and still trying to build stuff, because obviously education is expensive. So I have always a lot of other outgoings too.
Or maybe they have some sort of a handicap and they're so old that they don't want to drive one or trust it or something like that. But literally everybody has one. And you talk about keeping up with the Joneses, they got them for up to 30 grand. They're all lithium batteries now, but I kind of like the gas powered one because, you can go all week for that, a little bit of gas, and I don't know, the lithiums are very expensive. But anyway, let's go in here and have some Chinese food. I'm doing good on my diet, and I'll be returning back to.
How are you doing well on your diet? I mean, just because you said so? Oh, for goodness sake. Just Catherine, keep an eye on Cougar Sand. They get kind of wild with the religion. Golf carts, golf cart parking, white people riding a wheat dinky because that's a good question. I guess it's less sand in your car if you take the golf cart. People love to roll around in the golf carts. They have them like, you know, which should sit like in Virginia Beach. Like I walked down a place where Junebug and I, right the neighborhood where I'm at, and not exactly in my neighborhood, but adjacently, you know, basically. Anyway, it's like every other driveway has a golf cart in it, and you'll see the people rolling around all over the summertime, rolling around in their golf carts. I think they're hoping they won't get a DUI. That's what I think it is, but they will. They live in the villages. A lot of women there. No wonder Tim's excited. Well, he's got Miss Tammy. Nobody else is going to be putting up with him. Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, keep an eye on Cougar Sand. She gets wild with the religion. She loves some. She's very fond of Sarasota Tim. Thank you. Eating one organic blueberry, his diet is great. Yes, it's now that he's eating, you know, some instant oatmeal, pretty much like the worst type. I don't even know if it's the full, maybe it's not. But anyway, and a handful of blueberries and a couple of bananas, and Tim is like revolutionized his diet. Off to the Chinese buffet. You know, it's like, no, Tim, you're lying. He's absolutely lying. He's a liar. Nice pronunciation of the restaurant name. I guess from Tim. Probably. I'm sure. Keep going, Tim. We're finishing up. People want to get on with their Sundays.
Sarasota in the morning. I'll go on down there and play some golf. Maybe it's supposed to be beautiful weather. Warming up down here in South Florida. Summer's coming. Crush it.
Yeah, we're not going to crush it with you any further, Tim. No, we're not. All right. Let's see if he has. I don't want to do the gun range. I'm sorry, Tim, but I'm not doing 31 minutes of Tim doing his evening chat because I'm sure he said nothing interesting. He's just once again showing off the kitchen. I know a lot of you have seen this. This is his most recent one, but this is like, I mean, look at this. This is not a man who's trying to have heart disease going on at the moment. This is not what, sorry. I wasn't sharing the right screen. Hold on. I'm all alone here. Sorry, I thought I was presenting Tim. Hold on. Let me share the screen properly. Hold on. All right, let me share Tim. Oh, looks like Dr. Ed Weir's on, someone who actually knows about Social Security, not Tim. I would love to have Dr. Ed Weir as a guest. So Tim looks as red-faced as ever. And, you know, looks like he's really, you know, taking good care of his health. Gail says, washing brother Tim's skid marks is like washing Jesus's feet, Cougar Sand. That is very fun. Stacy says many 55 plus communities have them. They use them around the community. Right. These community activities such rather than driving cars. That's right. A lot of people like to just zip it around on the little golfy carts and run around. You should present Brother Ted as any good North Korea present one of the dear leaders. Okay, Cougar Sand. Cougar Sand, you are an interesting character. So here's Tim at the shooting range, and I've got it's a whole 20 minutes of just Tim and shooting guns. Like, fascinating, Tim, fascinating. And then here he had his evening chat. Let's see. Anything interesting happen here? Probably not. Let's take a quick.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota.
Not long, because we're
coming to you from the coffee bar here at JJ and Bev's place. I wanted to give you guys another little quick tour for tonight's evening chat. And I know a lot of you had a lot of compliments to make about the remodel that they were able to do here. They've done on multiple homes. These guys are experts, and they've done a great job. So I thought I would show you again the refrigerators in the back. A lot of you complimented that. You like
Why? Why is he? He shoots from 5 yards away. Yeah, he does. He's his. We're not gonna. Why is he? Why is he showing off these other people's kitchen again? What the envy going on here, Tim? Can you? This is very indicative of narcissists. They get very envious. So despite Tim sort of showing off what he perceives as his friends, and showing it as, oh, I'm just showing what my friends have. It's kind of, he's got an envy in there. I can tell. Tim wishes he wishes he would wake up to this every morning, because he and Tammy aren't in a very big apartment where they're at. He's not living in a house like with all this going on that he owns. He's just in a rented apartment somewhere.
I'd like to know where they got it. It's I think it's an LG. Yes, very nice refrigerator actually, and the appliances. But let me just turn the camera around, and we'll give you another little quick tour, and then I'll talk to you guys. Okay. So who can forget the famous coffee bar? This is Sarasota Tim's favorite part of the house, because who doesn't love coffee more than I do? So every morning when I come out, it's already made. They got this.
I mean, what in the world? Seriously, what in the world? 31 minutes of doxing his friend's home. Second night at other people's houses. Because Tim also, part of the narcissism is that he's got to show how important it is. There's people that love and care for him and want them at his home, their home, But like I said, Tim burns bridges like he did Ted and Jolene. So it's only, but that's why I wonder, what is JJ just getting a guy who likes to, shoot guns? There's plenty of those. Is it somebody that also has a YouTube channel and so they can talk and collaborate? JJ's channel's not doing anything. No one's watching JJ's channel. Nobody. Zero. Just JJ and Tim. Maybe Bev on occasion.
Fancy coffee maker here. It's a Braun. We got another one here that grinds the beans. There's all kinds of coffees below here and different things. We got our Juju beans. We got on these from out at Bullhead City at the what's it called?
They've gone down quite a lot since Tim was last there. So either Tim ate a whole heck of a lot of them, because they had them for quite a long time and they were almost full. And remember, he just puts his filthy paws straight into those. Doesn't care.
Oh, what's that coffee place I love so much out there? I'll think of it in a second. But this is just a beautiful, it was a pantry at one time.
Goodness me, Tim's got no memory. It's called the Human Bean, Tim. Even I remember that. Why would Tim brag about? Because it's kind of, he feels it's kind of still a reflection of who he is as a quality individual. If his friend, they always have to have the best. So his friend, as an extension of Tim, is going to have the best of everything too, if that makes sense. That's why that happens.
And they did it, the Human Bean, B-E-A-N. And they put a couple of these on the top of your coffee when they give you one. But it's all set with the timer. It'll be out here in the morning for me, even before I get up. And I'll come out here. I'll grab one of these nice, beautiful ceramic cups that make it taste so good, to have the best cup of coffee I've ever drank in my life. And then you got a nice, beautiful stainless microwave here. The lighting.
They've got just 8 o'clock coffee. It's not like you're drinking like some like rare organic, the coffee which the beans has shot out the back of the cat. There is some coffee that's extremely expensive, and because it's literally the beans are ate by some type of cat feline in some jungles, or not jungles, sorry, that sounds terrible, in a certain area in South America, and they eat the coffee beans and then poop them out, and for whatever reason the gastric process does something to the bean and they make coffee from that. That I understand is the most expensive coffee in the world. You're not eating the cat poop coffee, Tim.
I mean, it's just everything they've done, all the little details are so nice, and it's a coffee bar. I mean, it's just what it is. It's great. But yeah, this is, I never noticed it much because I'm a simple guy, but that is an amazing refrigerator, isn't it? LG, baby. It's got the crushed ice, the cubed ice, everything you want. Freezers, front doors, back doors.
I promise you, Tim, I've seen full fancier refrigerators at some of the families that I've known that, the fridge has the thing where it has the Bluetooth and it has pictures of the family show up. This is a very basic 4-door model. I mean, it doesn't really seem to have, it's got a sort of an ice thing there, but it doesn't have any of the electronics that you see on some of these new refrigerators that I've seen in people's homes. This is very standard. This is just a sort of standard oven too. I have a much fancier oven than this.
It's a 2-bedroom in there. He's got that Seal-O-Matic, to save your food. Another matching LG stainless, beautiful stove and oven. It's huge. Put the biggest turkey you want in there. So, quick story, kind of funny. Look at this toaster, convection oven. Here's my bananas, organic, by the way. They're getting ripe. I better hurry up and eat them. I was having one of my avocados today with my new Mediterranean diet. So I started going through all the drawers and trying to find, a knife, just a small steak knife. And I pulled every drawer in the house until I finally opened.
I've had the same refrigerator forever, and it just makes ice inside the machine, and it's fine. It's great. My fridge is fine. You see it in the back. It's fine. It's a Frigidaire. It does its job. It's been a great fridge. I don't see the reason to replace it. I don't need one that has Bluetooth that I can hook up pictures of my kids and they electronically show at the front of my refrigerator. Some of these refrigerators are very expensive. That's a fairly basic model refrigerator for those types of houses. Promise you. We know here in the U.S. how wild that it can get.
This drawer. And what I found was, first of all, the stippling on the hardware. These are all soft close. I opened them before. I said, whoa, I could build a house. Look at that. If you can't find it, they don't make it. Look at all of that. What's that drawer? Soft close. Isn't that nice? So they have a beautiful home here. And he said, it's no problem to show you guys. I'm really proud of it. They're proud of it. Look at this arch.
It's being funny.
It's just nice. The more you look, the more you find. And of course, the center island kitchen here with the marble granite probably.
Now I
don't
think
know the difference. Just nice. It just
might have a sense of humor. Now I think, now they may potentially have a sense of humor. So, Cougar said you might actually, brother Tim. Yeah. I think now they're actually just being facetious. So maybe they're being funny about Tim. So
it's one of the best rooms, like in any home, is the kitchen where everybody likes to gather and meet. We've shared a couple of very nice meals over at the dining table. We sit there and eat at the table like you're supposed to and enjoy a conversation. Today, JJ and I had to sit there no less than 3 hours. Yeah, I'll get into that later on evening chat and tell you about how we didn't do much today. We just kind of hung out. Now, this is just for looks, of course. This is a fancy.
What were they sat and spoke about for 3 hours? Be interested to know.
The living room, the front door, and you saw the theater room last night. That they turned from the TV over there to over here now. The beautiful 75. He wants a bigger one, he says. They have the same light fixture and fan, which I think is kind of cool. I've never seen one of these before. There's one in the bedroom. So they have.
He is wild because this is reminiscent. Hey, come on in. Yeah, it's a lot for a minimalist. Doesn't this just kind of remind you of how he has to always do the reviews repeatedly of the trucks too? It's like we constantly get reviews of the Crusher and we constantly get reviews of the Crasher. We constantly get reviews of the same things over and over. And it's not as if the last time he were not here, he didn't fully dox JJ and Bev's house for every criminal in America to see what to steal when JJ and Bev leave town. To show every window and where stuff's located. That's Tim.
They have a very good taste in their decorative style. And then these chairs are just amazing. His and hers, power recliners. They each got their own table there with their pads, their computers. I mean, they're just set. Nice big area rug here. And Kaylee, their little Yorkie, is right there. So let's go on back here to my room, and we'll have a little bit more.
My room? Not the guest room? Oh, wow. That's telling. You have to listen to Tim. Tim tells on himself all the time. So I said Tim told on himself when he showed all his lack of medications that he takes. Tim tells on himself when he says it's my room. No, Tim, it's a guest room. I would never talk about it being my room at a friend's house. I've had friends' house that I've stayed at multiple times, and I still talk about the guest room. In fact, a lot of times, if I was visiting my friends that frequently, I would stay at hotels in order not to cause extra work for my friend or extra expenses. But Timmy just, I mean, you'll see how Tim's just burnt his way through hospitality from others over his lifetime.
On the chat, I'll turn all these lights out. I just wanted to show you guys again. What an amazing, we spared Bev tonight. She was more than happy to get in here and rattle some pots and pans and cook for JJ and I. But I said, let's go, what do you want to eat? And I never expected her to say Greek food or Chinese food. I haven't been in a long time.
Well, no. Of course you didn't expect them to say Greek food or Chinese food. You expected Bev to say, no, don't worry, Tim. We'll just cook here. Don't worry. We don't expect you to spend your money to take us out to eat after I just did your laundry. After you had the man's wife do your laundry. Miss Tammy probably wouldn't touch her shit. Blind View says, I wonder how much I would have to pay to stay in the Sarasota Tim suite. I don't know. I don't know. It's the cost of your soul, probably.
Enjoyed it a lot. Let me tell you, this Chinese place we went to, if you leave there hungry, it's your own fault. We had to bring home almost half of it. They give you so much. They had some of that hot tea and everything. I just drank some water and I got regular chicken, not fried. I like the sweet and sour pork and sweet and sour chicken, but I had regular, what do you call it? Wok chicken with vegetables.
That's pretty much right. That's right. Here's where JJ keeps all his guns. Here's the jewelry. There's all those figurines that are worth hundreds of, and if not thousands, for the collection she has. I'm sure I'm going to get channel struck again for showing JJ's house, but we know I've got an attorney now, so let's have fun.
Peas, the carrots, it was just really good. There was some gravy in there, probably some MSG, maybe something I probably didn't need to eat, but we were just splurging. So anyway, it was a great night. Let me take you back here in the bedroom now, and I did my eye drops and took my Stalin pills. That's what I call them now, my statin. I took my Stalin pills and my, whatever you call it, those pills that keep you from the muscles cramping. What? Well, at least I did make the bed.
Oh, well, that's all bullshit, that Cuckoo 10. And you're taking a statin. So we already know that you're not being treated for coronary artery disease. Blind Views, Tim's coronary artery disease is a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't take any medications to prevent risk of a stroke or anything. Tim is trying to squeeze money out of his channel viewers because he's a sad dry begging fool. Let's get this dude out. I haven't brought him out all night.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have this dry begging. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Exactly. He's dry begging something terrible. And continuing to and my other theory is that Tim's too broke to pay for his bacon and eggs in the morning. That's why he switched over to the oatmeal, because he's getting towards the end of it, like his pay period from YouTube, and maybe the money from his Social Security just isn't covering that EIDL loan and all the other payments that he got going on. And the YouTube is just not, the coffee donations are drying up. So now he's got to come up with a new hook, line, and sinker to, try to get some sympathy from all these elderly people. It's terrible. Terrible human being. All right, Tim. We got a few more minutes, and I'm going to make sure we end before 7, because I know a lot of people like to watch 60 minutes. Okay, keep going, Tim.
But she did my laundry for me, and I just kind of laid everything out.
My
and
God!
How much
laundry did you have that woman do? I'm going to have to go back. Look at all this. It's not even just a shirt. Jesus and my Lord of my life. Why does he travel with a political shirt? I have no idea. It's Tim. This dude has zero shame. Not only do I believe that he is making up the extent of any heart disease he has at this moment in time, because he just told you again, the 2 medications he's taken. And I already showed you this evening what the guidelines state. The man is not even on 81 milligrams of a baby aspirin, which I promise you by next week, the fucker will be, pardon my French, will be taking. Sorry. It is disgusting. I don't mean to cuss because I try to be good because I know I have an older audience and I try to be good language and polite and professional. But that's outrageous to me. So he's so full of it. And then he's trying to say about the Mediterranean. It's never ending with this person. It's bad. It's just so bad. I hear he hasn't changed his eating habits. He was just at the Chinese buffet. That's what I'm saying. It's all full of lies. It's lies. He's a grift. That grifter should shove himself. Yes, this is the worst of the grift. His channel is so desperate at the moment. So desperate. And like I said, I'd like to know that 3-hour conversation that he and JJ had. I wonder what they're talking about. I hope they're better be coming up with some good strategies. You know, Tim are going to be needing to sell more than those Hoka shoes to pay for his legal defense. I promise you, because I know how much attorneys cost. God, this woman doing his laundry. Shameful.
Before me, and I just kind of laid everything out. Let me tell you, she's got one good washer and dryer. Everything came out
right there in the background. There's the hamper.
And I bought my
notice that hamper is empty now. So does he do this? You know, he rolls around with the CC rider with a hamper full of clothing, and then he goes over to his friends and dumps it off to his wife to do. You misogynist son of a bitch.
You kind of fold everything up. I got some hangers and move my stuff over. This is that new shirt I bought. It came out perfect. I didn't expect anything less because it's one of these. I think it's 8-pound test line. it's not going to wrinkle. It's all polyester. Some Walmart shirt. There's the man. And if that offends you, I'm sorry. But these are the new Wrangler shorts I told you about. They get that big Wrangler band in there. All the cargo pockets with the zippers on them, not the flippity floppity.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Because, definitely. It's not just going to be just the counter notification. There's going to be other parts to this animal, just to let you know. So thank you for all your generous views, likes, contributions, and generous buy me a coffees and everything else, because it really is helping me to do this. And like I said, it's not stressful for me. That's why I've gotten a counsel, because I don't have stress now. It's taken the stress away. So I appreciate everybody for that, because now I really can fight this person. It's terrible.
Like, and it's a dry fit polyester material, not cotton. All right, let's turn the camera around here and chat for a few minutes. So you can see I got
you have to come to Virginia too.
Fan fixtures. It's a different style than the one back in their TV room, but I've never seen anything like that. I didn't even know it was a fan, but it is, and a very cool looking light. Look at that thing up close. Pretty neat. Of course, I got the big, I don't know, 55 or 60 LG in here too, of which I've never used. Look, it's 9 o'clock already.
Because you like to go sit yourself in the movie theater room. It's like JJ and Bev like hide in their own house while Tim rolling around filming everything.
Onto my bed. This bed, speaking of beds, this is a low platform, modern,
Catherine.
The whole mattress and everything, plus the topper is memory foam. This is definitely a very, very comfortable bed for sure. Put you right here. Well, the lamp is kind of going to be. Hang on, don't give up on me. Here we go. I don't make a mess and break something. There we go.
I guess she is. I mean, she's very nice. I mean, just maybe because she genuinely thinks he's got heart disease. Tim would do anything to get people probably to do anything for him. I don't trust this man.
Put you up a little bit. All right. Oh, I mean, when we got back from Chinese tonight, I couldn't wait to hit the showers. I haven't felt that full in a long time. I can eat Baker tacos and have 6 or 8 of them, and those usually fill me up pretty good and not feel that full. For whatever reason, it was very, very filling. And what did we talk about today? What did we do today?
Baker tacos. The man supposedly has heart disease, correct? All right, let's see what he talked about, then we'll start wrapping this up.
Well, guess what? It amounted to a big goose egg. We literally enjoyed ourselves sitting here in the house and talking. I played golf yesterday, and told you a little bit more up. There we go. Played some golf yesterday, and we ran around, went over to Walmart, rode in the golf cart once, and that was about it. It was fun. And today we woke up. Oh, here's why. Remember me sharing with you guys yesterday, it might have been, that I was told I looked sad or depressed or down. And I told you I didn't go to bed till like 2 a.m. the day before I came here. And then I got up real early and had coffee and then drove up here. And then yesterday I played golf. And then we sat.
Why were you up so late, Tim? Were you tying on one with Miss Tammy? Why were you up so late? That makes sense.
There in the living room last night, and I know we're going to do it again today, because that's just what you do when you haven't seen each other in a while, and you want to just kind of, I live alone, and I'm not talking to anybody that much, and so it was good to. So we stayed up till it was 1:30. Yeah, Bev goes to bed. She's got her TV back there. She crashes out. She goes back there and watches her stuff, and JJ and I are in the 2 recliners out there, just kind of watching some YouTube shorts and videos. He's got a channel. We watch a lot of his music videos and stuff.
Oh gosh. Oh, so they were watching JJ's channel. That's not the place where you're going to get any ideas. JJ gets no views.
And if you haven't checked it out, it's called Crushing It. And yeah, but it's pretty cool. And we were talking about going and shooting and things like that today. And what did we do? Nothing until tonight. We went to Chinese. And so I was going to leave in the morning or sometime tomorrow. I didn't have to leave early. I'm not going to do that. But I was planning on bouncing tomorrow.
Why would you leave early, Tim? And you didn't, because I guess you went and played, you went and did the guns. Why would you want to leave? You got the coffee bar, you got the 75-inch TV, you got the LG fridge, you got Bev doing your laundry, you got JJ to sit and talk to about your woes, listen to your narcissistic fantasies. I mean, why would you want to leave?
And he invited me tomorrow and said, if you want to go and shoot, there's an outdoor place that he's been wanting to go to. Now, I've been shooting a lot, and he hasn't gone except with me in Arizona. And when I came up here to visit last time, to a place
Western Mall food.
He's kind of a member of, or he gets some kind of a deal because he.
Oh, absolutely. You would. The Chinese food in a side of a mall is not Chinese food. Panda Express is not Chinese food.
Bought something there, a gun there, or something like that, and but he wants to shoot outside. And I'm more than happy to oblige him. So we're gonna hang out tomorrow for a little while before I head back to Sarasota. And who knows? I mean, they got somewhere to be Tuesday, so I want to wear out my welcome. But who knows? I could even stay tomorrow night too if I wanted to. I know I'm welcome, but most likely I'll go home. We'll see. But we're gonna go shooting tomorrow, so we'll get you some videos about that. But I know what we're gonna do tonight.
Oh, that's always a great channel killer. Nobody, your audience even says they don't care for your gun videos, Tim. So you just don't care. You're just going to post whatever you want. I don't care what you want to watch. I'm out shooting guns. That's what I'm filming. I'm posting it.
And
good. Good
last night we just sat up forever.
Community.
And what time did we get this morning? We're not a couple of sleepyheads. We don't get up at 10 or noon. We're up at the crack having coffee. Doesn't matter what time I go to bed. So I'll try to get a reasonable night's sleep tonight. And then we'll go and shoot tomorrow. I wouldn't even mind playing 9 holes of golf again. I mean, what else have I got to do but to live? And that's exactly what I want to do.
I don't know if Panda Express can guarantee that.
What am I in a rush to do? To get home for nothing? To do whatever I want to do there?
I have no idea.
Enjoy your friendship. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy your life. You get one. Make it a good one.
No.
So what else? I got all my clothes here. And we did
I didn't realize there was such love for Panda Express. I'm just teasing. I have no idea. I don't eat Chinese food from anywhere. Really. Chinese is not my favorite. I much prefer Thai.
Look at this. He put this on my shirt for me.
Oh God.
I have it on my other one, but we didn't add that. We didn't have the label.
I mean, you're going to be having those on yard sales soon, Tim, if you're not careful. You know, you can keep defending this thing, but maybe you shouldn't attack people. Maybe that's not a good plan.
Or something like that. He had told me, to bring the shirt with me. I didn't think I did, but it was in my dirty clothes that Bev washed, and it didn't have the crushing on the back. My other one does. So we got it on there. So this is my uniform when I'm out videoing or something like that. Get advertised, right? So I read the comments tonight regarding the dinner and yesterday's comments and everything. And while I normally make, 10, 15 videos a day, I realize that a lot of you are like, wait, what happened to this guy? Why isn't he putting up some videos? Well,
oh, Tim, let's find out why you're not spitting out 10, 15 videos a day. Because I know that, you were just, because it seems like you capture as many views between 2 videos as you putting out 10. So maybe you realized to work less, that was smarter than working harder as far as
believe
money
me,
and views.
I'll be wearing you out again very soon. That's my life. That's what I do. But sometimes I just get into a mood where like I'm chilling up here. And today the conversation, I won't go into what we talked about. Some personal, some that's not personal or anything, but storytelling. And he is
Yes, I think Tim and Tammy are in a relationship.
70, 71. He's a few years older than me. And he's had a very interesting life.
Bye.
And we shared a lot
Bye,
today
Sharon.
that was very cool. About some of the things that him and Bev have done and the ups and downs and the peaks and the valleys. And we were talking about real estate and the villages area here and outside the villages and living in a house versus a camper and the cars and the trucks that I purchased and the cars and trucks. Well, I don't know how many trucks he's had, but the cars he's had. And we're talking about old cars. I mean, we kind of hit on everything. And a lot of it was educational, eye-opening, and giving me kind of cause for the pause. Pause for the cause. I'll get it right. And some things in the, maybe not tomorrow, but in the very near future need to be contemplated and, need to be considered about life. While nobody's promised tomorrow, it really is good to at least attempt to have some sort of a game plan, God willing, that.
Oh, now Tim at 66 is met up with somebody who is going to take the time to educate Tim about financial management. Tim it's always good to learn. So I don't want to be a downer on it, but potentially some of the things that you were discussing were things that probably should have been put long into place. Yeah, Tim's off on a word salad. Yeah, relax, Tim.
You direct your life in a direction that best suits you. Now, I'm not saying that what I'm thinking about doing is what the pattern is, what the blueprint is, what I meant to say. It is not a blueprint. It's just, okay, this is your life, this is your age, this is what you like to do, this is your status. This could be an idea. So what are you talking about? You're talking in circles here. I know it. They'll all come to fruition and in videos in the future as things happen or not happen. Can't believe a damn thing I say. You know that. So regarding the
well, no, but then we'll find out, won't we, Tim? I wonder if you discussed your impending court action.
I hate to always talk about my eyes and now my heart and my skin and my different health issues, but I don't know about that test that I had done. It's off the charts regarding my calcium number of 1,578,000 or something like that. It's just, how can I feel so good or not have, shortness of breath or tightening or anything? I mean, let me get some wood. Let me knock on it right now.
Yeah, because you're a liar who's full of it. That's why. And you did sound short of breath, but you went up a flight of stairs, which, But yeah, it's funny that, isn't it? It's funny that. Funny that. But Tim feels so great. And yet he's on no medications to prevent him from having a stroke with such terrible numbers. Go figure. They're just, rolling the dice, his doctors.
Because it seemed like those numbers would go with someone that isn't, feeling well or has some kind of symptoms or something. And while I'm definitely not feeling like I did 5-10 years ago, getting up, squatting down, things like that, I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
And these numbers are just like very concerning to me because what does it mean? I'll tell you what it's going to mean is when I go to that cardiologist on whatever it is next week, I've got an appointment. And he, the expert.
Oh, isn't that just convenient that he doesn't know exactly what day his cardiology appointment is? Like he doesn't know if it's Wednesday or March the 17th. I mean, is he really that bad of a liar? I have a dental appointment. It's tomorrow. That's March 17th at 1 p.m. It's not hard. That's why you can tell when the liar's lying.
We'll go further in the testing and looking and seeing, dyes or stress test or some more x-rays, some kind of unequivocal proof that there is a reason of some plaque and some clogging and all this kind of stuff that I really need to be worried about. Because even some of you have mentioned in the comments.
Equivocal proof? Well, that's called a cardiac catheterization, Tim. If you were this diseased, supposedly on that coronary artery calcium score, they wouldn't even need to see a stress test. You'd be straight into the cath lab. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, here we go, Tim. You freaking lied about the test results. That's what I'm saying. Hey, Eloise, come on in from the UK. We're just watching this man lie about his medical stuff. He says he has coronary artery disease, but he's like on 20 milligrams of Lipitor. He's not even on 81 milligrams of baby aspirin. And Eloise, as a pharmacist, will tell you, doesn't sound like somebody who's being treated for coronary artery disease at all. Keep going, Tim. Keep lying. Your mouth's moving.
These tests and these calcium scores don't always represent everything. And of course, I know I can hear my ears blowing off right now from Jim Bauer and others that promote the carnivore diet that tell me all of these things can be reversed by eating only meat and things like that. Well, folks, you know, I've done it all. I was just telling JJ and Bev tonight at dinner. You know, I did the Atkins diet once years ago. We got on these.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I meant to go back further. Sorry. No, because he said it was like 15. He said specifically it was 1575. So I don't think he would have 4 numbers.
I'll tell you what it's going to mean is when I go to that cardiologist on
there we go,
whatever it is next week.
Here we go.
So we're gonna roll this way for a while, and we're gonna see if with plant-based foods and fruits and vegetables and things like that.
Let me go back. Sorry, I've skipped over.
I'm really stuck with it. It's nothing more than carnivore. I eat meat, and I lost 30 pounds. Of course, I've gained it back because it's a lifestyle. You have to eat a diet that is something you can stick with. So the Mediterranean diet that I've been studying, it just excludes red meat, but not completely, and eggs, but not completely.
Oh, now he's studying the Mediterranean diet. Go figure.
And other things, but stick with plant-based foods and, fruits and vegetables and things with a lot of color, chicken, fish. I don't know if pork's on there or not, but probably, except for the red meat. And
yeah, but liars have to have details, but not too specific. He can't say it's going to be Wednesday and then his audience ask him, hey, what about that? Test him. He's always very, for this, it's been very, I don't know. Tim, for a man who will show you everything, including his urinal on the floor of the coal, this does not make sense.
That all sounds pretty good to me. I mean, it sounds like I can eat really what I enjoy, and there's quite a variety there, including bananas, which I haven't had in a long time. I love bananas and the avocados. So we're gonna roll this way for a while, and we're gonna see if taking the Stalin pill, if that's gonna help lower the cholesterol. And
we're gonna call it Stalin pills.
The diet and exercise. I can always kick it up more, but I'm not a slacker there. That's one thing I've been consistent with my entire life. Oh yes, there's days I don't go and days I don't walk, but I consistently get my 6,000 to 10,000 steps a day. So, but I am a lot more cognizant since I've been hearing about these, and I'm living proof. I am living proof since you've been watching me on YouTube that.
Well, the Mediterranean style diet is not so much of a fad diet. It is, as I showed, has a lot more evidence behind it. The carnivore, I would say, is a fad diet.
When I tell you that, as you get older from 62 and how exponentially your health, you're like a roller coaster, and then you come over the peak and you're going down, your mental faculties, your gizzards, your eyes, diabetes, knees, hips, arthritis, all of these different things, strokes.
I think he was trying to say Stalin, like Stalin, the leader from Russia.
Heart disease, cancers, skin cancers, from being in the sun all your life. All of these things can start to appear. And look, I'm not plagued with everything, but I have been busy lately.
He thinks that's funny than saying statins. Yeah, we've got a pharmacist in the chat who I need to bring you on, Eloise. If you're still up for a live stream, we'll go over Tim's one medicate. Oh, girl, it's such lies. Anybody who's in the medical field will smell the BSery around this guy real quick.
More in my life than I ever have with going to a dermatologist. Working on getting this eyeball to get the pressure down. So and I see.
No, we're in agreement with the Mediterranean diet. Tim is just, you got to go back to some of my other videos, but Tim is potentially just like exaggerating some certain things. It's Tim.
Don't feel sorry that I'm blind. I mean, I kind of am, but it is what it is. I don't wear glasses just to read. And then now, this is the most concerning of all, is the calcium score and this, plaque buildup. And I know I must have it. Did I ever tell you the story? I went to the dentist to save money. I went to a college and it had kids working there. They were learning to be dentists, but they had a doctor.
Oh gosh. How does he know he just has it? What are you talking about? This is why. This is all lies. Oh my God, I just cannot with him. I just cannot. This is insanity in my mind.
Doctor that overlooked each step they went. Don't ever do it, by the way, because it takes forever to do a simple thing. You got to come back multiple visits because it's all about them getting their education. So if you're in a hurry for something, just go throw down, because I wouldn't do it again.
I'm
but I did go
glad to hear
twice
that,
for two different
Louise.
things. And so finally they wanted to take an x-ray, and they said that thing that comes in real close to you, you know, and you bite down on something and they run around the corner and you hear a little zap, it takes an x-ray. This one, you sit there and you put on this lead vest, and it's a panoramic. It goes all the way around like this. And they took an x-ray of my whole, you know, jaw, but it got my neck in there, which, you know, they covered my heart and everything with that lead vest. And the doctor come back and he said, you don't need a dentist. You need to leave now and go to the doctor. You've got a carotid artery. That there's a lot of plaque showing your carotid artery. And so I did go to the doctor, and they said,
They didn't say immediately, and you can have one side down. It's not a great emergency.
yeah. And they did an ultrasound. I talked about this before. He said, but the good thing is a lot of people have plaque in that artery, but you have good blood flow. And so I'm assuming now what I've learned from that this plaque that I could have in all these valves or arteries to the heart, that as long as there's good blood flow, and if the Stalin drug will smooth out from what I've been.
No. You're not on any anticoagulant medication. So you might have some high cholesterol. I think the other number wasn't as bad as you're making it out to be. And now you're just full of BS-ery.
Explained by my primary is the plaque can be kind of pointy and, you know, jaggedy and all that. And the Stalin, I know it's statin, will smooth over that plaque so that blood can go through. I've also learned that, I don't have a pen here, that a lot of the arteries are no bigger than the tip of a ballpoint pen. That's what we're talking about. I don't know if some of them are bigger or not, but I'd imagine they were like big hoses. But no, not the case. Not all of them anyway. So if there's plaque here, then there could be plaque here, and then that number 1,575,000 that I got, it's got me more concerned about my eye. I still have another good one. And the skin, they've always been basal cell carcinoma. And I don't even think about anything being something that's life-threatening.
We got a pharmacist in here who says this isn't making sense. No, you're right. It isn't making sense because Tim's a scamming liar. That's why it doesn't make sense, Eloise. And anybody who's in the medical industry, we all can tell this makes no sense. Unfortunately, other people, it would make, you know, they don't want to ever question people's medical stuff because that's rude. But yeah, it makes no sense. Yeah, he talking no sense, girl.
It could. It absolutely could. But from offshore fishing and boating and sun worshiping and tanning beds and all these things that I did when I was younger that were stupid and not proper sun protection. Even now, I don't go out. Look at my arms. They're just, I bought this stuff that they gave me that you rub on twice a day for 2 weeks, she said, the dermatologist, and it's going to make me very irritated and take off all this old skin and burns. I think she said do one arm at a time.
It's probably called Effidex. Dang, if they're telling you to do your whole arm with the Effidex, that's wild. That stuff does burn. Dang, Tim. That's outrageous.
So, yeah. But what am I saying all that for? Because I'm talking about travel. And that was part of our conversation tonight was, okay, you bought this, you bought that, you bought the other, and you're not really going that much, or what are you doing? Or maybe you could do this instead of that, or switch for this.
No, supposedly the dentist, when they did the panoramic of his mouth, somehow got the carotid artery in his neck and saw that he was, I guess, occluded on one side and said that it was an emergency. And that's why he has an elevated coronary calcium artery score, sorry, because of the fact that he has a blocked carotid. I mean, yeah, could elevate it. But he said he had a CT scan, obviously, girl, it's wild.
This. All kinds of ideas today. Not to confuse anybody, especially me. I'm easy to confuse. So,
he's so full of BS.
We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
he's just full of BS.
But as far as the travel goes, I'm ready to go. It's just that for whatever reason there is, and everything does happen for a reason.
Yeah, James never had a heart transplant. Yeah.
I got to wait and find out what this is. And what if he says, the heart guy, all right, yeah, you got it. And this is what we're going to do. Well, he's going to want me to come back probably sooner than I want to go on a trip on my camper and come back and be gone for a while, several weeks.
This is why this is so outrageously and just
a few weeks, a month, whatever. So we're going to have to see, or he could do this, a very follow-up visit to give him a plan that nothing needs to be done right away. But with those numbers, it sounds like, something needs to be done big soon. I don't know. But I hope nothing too big.
You're not on any anticoagulation. You're on nothing like that. That's why this is so wild and suspicious, Tim. You're not even on 81 milligrams of baby aspirin, supposedly with a 1575 coronary artery calcium score. It just makes no sense, Tim.
I don't even want to mention the words, but, this bypass stuff, pacemakers and, stents is another thing. I mean, that could be probably the first go-to, right? As long as the plaque isn't too much. Anyway, I don't want to make this all about my health.
Pacemaker has nothing to do with blocked arteries. That's to do with your rate. I mean, there's other things you could have a dual pacemaker where it's got the shock and the pacing, the pacing and the shock to it if you need to be revived, I guess.
Let's talk about something else. But I am feeling good. Tomorrow we're going to go shoot our guns.
Okay.
And
all right.
Well,
if he's going to end, if he's going to talk about his guns, I'm going to end it there because I know everyone is busy this evening. So let me end it there because we've been here for almost over 2 hours now, and so I just want to thank everybody. No Prasugal, nothing. No, nothing. He's not even on a blood pressure medication. Supposedly he's on 20 milligrams of atorvastatin and CoQ10. Which is not be recommended by the American Heart Association per 2023 guidelines of chronic coronary artery disease management. They would say no supplements. That's just bullshit. And it's bullshit. We know it's bullshit. So, yeah, that's why I would love to get you to talk about this, Eloise, because this is going to be a wild ride as Tim lies his way through heart disease. Not to say that Tim doesn't have heart issues. Okay, because I heard how out of breath he was. So he definitely needs to make some lifestyle changes. He probably does need to take his cholesterol medications. Whether he is, I can promise you, if you were having to think about a bypass, unless Tim is completely manic, you would not be sitting there laughing. There is no laughing matter about having a coronary artery bypass surgery. Jeez. Exactly. 20 milligrams is a bit low. Yeah, it's a little low. It's not even on 81 milligrams of aspirin. It's what just kills me. You cannot see the arterial plaque from a dental. Thank you. Thank you, Hazel. Yeah, that's another BS story from Tim. Having his dentist saying he has to leave immediately because of blocked carotid artery. Where is Tim getting these stories from? Absolute just wildness. Oh, differences in American and British healthcare. Well, we don't want to get upset over here. But yeah, it's a good one to talk about. But we do use, I often look at the guidelines that come out of the UK for certain things. And I'm sure they look at guidelines that come out of the US. So, we all look at guidelines. Look at a lot of different European guidelines, lots of them. Trisha says, exactly, BS story for sure. Have a great area. Yeah, it's absolute BS. Absolute BS. I imagine how shot his kidneys are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, we know he keeps a urinal in the car. But that might be because of his addiction to caffeine and how he's just diuresing himself constantly. Gosh, the NHS is a bit of a mess. Oh, well, I feel like we're all a bit of a mess at the moment, Eloise. We're all a bit of a mess. Yes, Catherine says, subscribe, everyone. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Oh, happy St. Paddy's Day in New Zealand. You guys are already there. I'm glad you enjoyed the live. Thanks for being a moderator. Oh, stay in good health, everybody. Absolutely. Shoot me a text message, Eloise, if you want to come back over. Yes, always looking at worldwide guidelines. Absolutely. You can learn so much from other people. And from around the world. You can't just keep to one place. I've looked at them from all over the place. But Eloise, if you do want to come and talk about any of these, I know Dr. Classy Badass, I love to have a group of medical people on here to blow out Tim's terrible just medical scamming going on here. It's absolutely wildness. It's wild. Good job, says Dawn. Yep. Your moderating is great. And we realize that Cougar Sand is just here being a jokester about the religious stuff. I actually kind of found it funny once I realized that they're being kind of facetious in their religious speak. That was so over the top that there was any funny. Yes, email me, Eloise, because we'd definitely like to get you back up there. We might even do Foodie Beauty again just for the and giggles. Who knows? Happy St. Patty's. Okay, so we go for 2 more hours. Oh, I'd love to, but I'm starving and I'm going to get dinner. And I got a dog hanging out next to me, upset with the weather. How's my weather? It's raining really hard, which is why my scaredy cat pit bull is hanging right next to me here on the floor. We were lucky because I gave her a bath outside. And just as I finished it up, that's why I was 15 minutes behind. I felt a couple of drops of rain, so we just got in just in time for that. I'm glad everybody had fun on the live. I'm glad everybody had fun. You've been watching Facebook on the oh, well, that's fun on the Amigan channel. That's fun. Well, we need to all catch up with that. Oh, you are so welcome. And Eloise, I'm going to take Sarasota Tim to court or doing some stuff. I have an attorney, so it's going to get wild. So if you haven't had a chance, I know you guys probably have, but if you haven't had a chance to hit the likes on the way out. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Be safe. Be good. Make sure you wash your hands. It's raining in Gloucester County too. Yeah, we kind of do need the rain, but I'm glad it was later because of the fact that the races and everything and the weather was great this weekend for all the people and visitors who came out of town from Virginia Beach. And he ran the Shamrock. And so I hope everybody had fun with that. I was sound asleep in bed, trying to avoid the crowds down here because the traffic as today was a lot of traffic. It was very busy. I am going to try to finish editing my members only. I did do I got everything. I just need to finish the editing from my vlog of when I went to print out my attorney's letter yesterday and sign it and get it done so I could send it over to him last night. So I did. All right, guys. Cheers. Be safe.